Meanwhile, Pope Francis has called for an end to the attacks and violence in Israel. In an address to the crowd at St. Peter's Square, he expressed his solidarity with the victims. The head of the Catholic Church said fighting will not solve any problems.
Let the attacks and weapons cease, please, because it must be understood that terrorism and war bring no solutions, but only the death and suffering of many innocent lives. War is a defeat. Every war is a defeat. Let us pray for peace in Israel and Palestine.
And this was the scene in Istanbul where thousands of people marched to show their support for Palestinian fighters. Many also waved Palestinian flags and chanted slogans in support of Hamas. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is urging both sides to de-escalate tensions.
On behalf of Turkey and in light of this morning's events in Israel, we invite all parties to act reasonably and to stay away from impulsive steps that raise tensions.
Rallies were also held in Yemen's capital, Sana'a. People celebrated what's been called by Hamas as the al-Aqsa flood military operation. For more analysis now, let's bring in Refaat Alareer. He's a writer and educator who's in Gaza. Refaat, thanks so much for being on this news hour. What's the situation where you are? It's heading into the evening in Gaza, and so how are you preparing for another night of strikes?
Thank you for having me. The night is usually the most horrific part of the day. It's when Israel intensifies and terrorizes and bombs with missiles unprecedented, unexperienced before in the Gaza Strip, because the whole building shakes, the little kids wake up shrieking, even the young people wake up crying and screaming. Israel has targeted so many Palestinian businesses, so many Palestinian residential buildings. Israel has destroyed homes on the heads of the dwellers as they slept. We talk about so many Palestinian families buried dead, the Shabat family, the Shaban family, the Abu Dagga family. Most of them are kids. In Gaza, there are almost 1 million Palestinian children. Almost 50% of the population of Gaza is children. So in the Shabat family, 9 out of 18 family members were children. Israel annihilated 3 generations in just one American-made bomb. We barely have any electricity. We are working on batteries now. The internet is getting weaker and weaker. Many families lost their source of water. There is more than 50% poverty and unemployment in Gaza, meaning most Palestinians in Gaza depend on day-to-day kind of work to put food on the table. Those people are going to be starving. It's complete and utter terror, unprecedented, and Palestinians in Gaza are bracing for the worst because Israeli genocidal maniacs are calling all over the internet, and sadly even on Al Jazeera and other mainstream media is calling for genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, justifying
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. I just have many questions to ask and we're running short of time. The Knesset has officially declared war. What's your reaction to that? Does that change anything for you living in Gaza?
It does not, because more than 100 years ago, the British helped the Zionists own Palestine. They dispossessed and displaced Palestinians until the establishment of Israel more than 75 years ago. So from 1917, Palestinians have been brutalized, attacked, dispossessed, displaced, massacred, annihilated, ethnically cleansed by European colonialists, whether in the form of British soldiers or Zionist Jewish soldiers. But what is coming, what Israel is preparing, is going to be a lot worse, unprecedented. We are expecting so far, and again, this is a number you didn't get, although you got the Israeli number figure almost accurately. Palestinian sources talk about 370 Palestinians massacred, murdered, many of whom are children, some of whom were killed in their homes, and the number is increasing.
Yes, and there are a number of civilian casualties on both sides, Refaat. I do have to mention that, and there is a historical context that must be considered. My question to you is, why are you staying? Why have you not left Gaza given the situation?
Where should we go? To drown, to commit suicide, mass suicide? So the Zionists are happy and cheer that they spared themselves our blood. There's no way out. Gazans and Palestinians in Gaza live in an open-air prison. The borders are closed. The air is closed. Israel destroyed the only airport we had. The sea is also closed. There are more than 2 million Palestinians in Gaza. Israel asks Palestinians to move to the city centers, and then Israel bombs the city centers. Israel asks Palestinians to move to schools, to UN-run schools, and then Israel bombs these schools. It did this in 2014, it did this in 2021, and last night Israel bombed a UN school that was a potential shelter for Palestinians. Israel itself forcibly moved by bombing Beit Hanun and Shijaiya and other areas in Gaza. So there is no way out. There is no way for Palestinians to go, and we are bracing for the worst horrible massacres and genocide that is going to be taking place in the area. And it's going to be, if we have electricity, it's going to be live on TV. And the world, the West, Germany, America, England, France, everybody is supporting, even Ukraine, supporting Israel and saying we're ready to send Israel money and weapons. America is sending $8 billion, and Palestinians just have to wait, only because Palestinians are darker in skin color, because we are not blonde.
We have to leave it there, sir. I'm sorry, we do have to move on, but we appreciate your insights and stay safe, which will no doubt be another tense night ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.